Alright, so in this tutorial, we're gonna be adding a reducer to basically to manipulate our new functions to add, remove, and update our different functions. And so I want to define what a reducer is. A reducer is basically a function which determines a change to an application state. It takes the help of an action by using the receive it and determine that particular change. In React, we have a lot of options like Redux that can help to manage application state and changes in a single store. But basically, since we're gonna have different actions to do, we're gonna add a post, we're gonna delete post, and we're gonna update post. We're gonna have to come up with a better state management without using Redux. And that is the reason that we're introducing a reducer. And I went ahead and got started on this to better understand and better explain how we're gonna attach this reducer. And two things that are happening right now is we are having to add, and at the beginning at the beginning you remember that we had this function that actually has the block provider that passes in the values of the children for this item. And then in here we had the helper function that completed whatever we wanted it to do. Like in this case, it was to add a new blog post. And in the past we had everything written in here, we basically absorb the current state entries, and then we added up on to that entry. And so now that we're adding a reducer, we are having to kind of like restructure a little bit, but still keeping in the same action or the same helper function in here. But notice that now we have a dispatch, and I'm going to explain that in a little bit. So we're going to be working in here in the blog context, and the first thing is we create a blog reducer that takes two arguments. It takes a state, or you can call it a blog entry, you can call it whatever you want, but just to keep it all consistent, we're gonna treat it as what it does. Basically, this is where we update the state, and then we require an action. I'm gonna go ahead and undo this, and in here we switch from the action type. So we're gonna pass in an action, and then we're gonna update the state of that action. And so I'll come back to this. Then in here in the block provider, we are updating the blog post. And remember that we had a setter over here to set blog post. Now we are using dispatch because we're gonna be using, instead of using state, we're gonna use reducer. And use reducer is a hook from React. So instead of having use state, we change it to use reducer. That way we can use it over here. It is essentially the same thing, but this is more of making it better, for a future use, instead of having like multiple helper functions, which is not bad to do, but this is a better way of keeping track of what is updating and what is not. So going back to this, so we have the use reducer, and we have two arguments. One of them is the blog reducer, which is the state management, and then we have the current blog entries or current set entries. So, and then we added a helper function, which is the same thing as what we had. We called it add blog post, but this time we're dispatching. We're using the dispatch. Is basically setting the entries, but now instead of going straight through in this same flow, we're utilizing the reducer. And basically we're saying, okay, dispatch a type of blog post, and this blog post goes and talks to the blog reducer and says, okay, what action are you looking for? And it's like add blog post. And so we have a switch case scenario, and this blog post is the one that handles the add blog post. And then again, the same thing we do, we take the current entries for that state value. In this case is the blog post entries, and we add a new entry in here, the same thing as we had earlier. And if you don't submit anything, you return whatever there is. So this is like the fallback value. After that, we add this value we pass it in the value object, and that is all. Then we test it. We go to the home, and then we add blog post, and it is working essentially the same way as we had it before, but now you can manage it better. In here you can, we don't have anything yet, but we're gonna be adding update case, update blog post, and we will work on this when the time comes. But essentially this is how we're gonna be treating everything. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna add it here, and whenever we construct a new one, we're gonna have to add it to this location, to the value prop. And that is all I have for now. So also I want to let you know that all of these updates and everything are available in my GitHub. My GitHub location is this, github.com /React Native blog, and it tells you how to get everything going and everything. And if you have any questions or if you want to contribute to this, let me know, and just send me an email, and I will go ahead and review it. And you can fork this, you can actually download it and spin it up in your own environment, and you can have it working as I have it in my end. I also making comments up here, so you can do a little bit of update on your end. And yeah, that is all I have for now. So thank you much for watching, and keep on